My dear students of the third prep, I'm very happy to be with you today. Today we are going to discuss Unit 15, Technology. And the grammar rule of this unit is the second conditional with would, could, or might. We use the second conditional to talk about situations that are either impossible or which might not happen at present. So it's difficult to happen at present, and we can call this hypothetical situations. So how can we use if? We use if. If is followed by past simple. The second conditional is followed by past simple, and the second sentence would, could, or might plus infinitive. Sometimes if can be in the middle, so it is preceded by would, could, and might plus infinitive, and after that we should past simple after if. For example, for hypothetical situations, as we said, if I had a lot of money, I would buy a car, and here would, and here past simple. If I had a lot of money, and this is impossible for that time. It means in this sentence, I don't have the enough money to buy the car. So if I had a lot of money, I'd buy a car. Another example, if I learned Japanese, I might find a job in Tokyo. If I learned Japanese, I might find a job in Tokyo. It doesn't mean that I know Japanese, so I might find it, or I will find a job in Tokyo, but it might for probability. On the second conditional also, you should know how to form questions. And as you know, we have two kinds of questions, yes-no questions and WH question. How to form a yes-no question using the second conditional. You should start with would, then the subject and the infinitive, and after if you put the past simple. For example, would you travel around the world if you won the lottery? Would, you started with would, followed by subject, then infinitive, and completed the sentence, and complete the sentence. Would you travel around the world if you won the lottery? And also the second kind of questions, WH question. You should start with question word, then you put would, then the subject and infinitive, and complete if, and after if you should put past simple. What would you do if you had enough time? What would you do if you had enough time? Imagine you had enough time, what would you do in that time? And the second question, another example, what would happen if you won the lottery? What would happen if you won the lottery? And you can answer if I won the lottery and complete. We use would and could for ability, to express about ability, and might for possibility, and couldn't for impossibility. And if something is impossible, you should use couldn't, and might, something is possible, and would and could for ability. Okay, and also you have to notice that we use the second conditional also for advice and for impossible cases. For advice, for example, if I were you, I would plus infinitive. For example, if I were you, I would study hard. This is my advice to you. If I were you, I would travel by train. If I were you, I would do more exercise, for example. And for impossible cases, we use also if in the second conditional and put in mind where with all pronouns. Where, instead of using I was, I use I were. If I were a bird, I would fly. It's impossible to be a bird. So in the impossible case, if I were a bird, I would fly. If I were Muhammad Salah, I wouldn't play for Liverpool. And this is impossible. I am not Muhammad Salah. Let's now know how to answer questions, and the most important question in our exam paper is the rewrite question. You know, rewrite the following sentences using the words in brackets. For example, I don't have enough money, so I can't buy a car. And he asks me in this question to start with this. You have to notice that don't have at present, can't buy also at present. So if he gives me the sentence at present, so you have to use the second conditional, because second conditional expresses about something at present, which is impossible to happen at present. How can I change the sentence by using if conditional, you should start with if. As we know, if is followed by past simple, but put in mind the negative things should be changed into affirmative tense, should be changed from negative into affirmative. If I had enough money, I would buy a car. So it was negative and I changed it into affirmative, and here it was negative also and I changed it into affirmative. Type. How can I use unless? If he asks me in something like this, use unless. As you know also, and you studied this at Prep 1 and Prep 2, if or unless means if not. So I can use the right question if I had, sorry, we have to start with unless. Unless I had enough money, I wouldn't buy a car. So using unless is the negative of if. If not means unless. And I started with unless. This followed also by past simple, because we are talking about the second conditional and wouldn't plus infinitive. Let's move to another point. If he said, you should wear a jacket, and use if. How can I change this? If we took in the second conditional that we can use if for advice, and should also is used for advice. So I can say, if I were you, I would wear a jacket. So we dealt with if. If he gave me a sentence and he asked me to join this sentence by using if, you should put in mind that if the sentence at present simple, like don't have or can't buy, so you have to use the second conditional, and put in mind the negative should be changed into affirmative, and also if he gives you an affirmative something, you should change it into negative. And if he asks you to use unless instead of if, you have to put in mind that if is the opposite of unless, or unless means if not, and you have to put a negative or to add something to make the sentences equal in meaning. The third one, if he gives you an advice and he asks you to start with if or to use if, you have to start with if, should be followed by were you. If I were you, I would wear a jacket. Thank you, my dear students. I think we have finished Unit 15 and the grammar, its grammar rule, the second conditional. I hope you practice more, and you have to answer the questions on your student book, page 30, and also on the workbook. And until we will meet again, thank you for listening. Goodbye.